2411. Episode 53. I'm co-host Alca7raz, and with me today I've got Nemesis.
I think.
You think?
Yes, I think.
You think. Got another episode for you today. We've got a few bits of news, not as much as the last couple weeks, thankfully. We have another episode to talk about, as we do almost every week. And we have a comic issue.
Ah!
Yeah, the next issue in the comic arc came out. So, we've also got a bit of fan content after that. So, Let's start with the news. And remember, you can find links to all these articles in our show notes at pony411.libsyn.com/shownotes. Anyway, let's get to it. In convention news, Daniel Ingram will be attending this year's BronyCon convention, but only for that Saturday. So if you're in Canada and you're going to that convention, you'll be able to see him there.
Hey. If it hasn't come out yet, bug him about the Google Play version of the second soundtrack if it still hasn't come out by that point.
Yes.
Bug him.
Bug him. That hasn't. We want that.
Or don't. I don't know.
Pre-registration for Nightmare Nights Dallas has opened up, and that's the convention down in Texas. No, if you can tell by the Dallas. Regular badges are about $40, and other badges like the full badges and one-day badges are cheaper, and there's also sponsor-level badges that are more expensive, so go check them out for their prices and availability. And you're going to have to help me pronounce this name. Rebecca Shoiket, thank you, I'm going to mess that up. Rebecca Shoiket will be attending this year's BronyCon. And BronyCon has also announced a swag shop online store you can buy convention merchandise from.
Woo!
So I don't know if that's only there or anyone can buy. But yeah, they say you guaranteed buy.
Sounds like you can buy stuff online, probably post-convention or pre-convention even, I don't know.
Pre, during, post, either way. But it's specific stuff from that convention, so.
So yeah, if you missed out, there you go.
Yep. M.A. Larson will be attending Galacon this year. And that's the one in Germany, I believe. So.
Bazam.
Yep. So if you're going to that, see if you can get a pair of wings for yourself.
No. He's fresh out.
I highly doubt he'll ever run out of wings. In non-convention news, A Brony Tale, a documentary with Ashley Ball and stuff. After having a successful premiere over in New York, they're going to be showing it in a whole bunch more places here in the near future, including Vancouver, BC, being Canada, Seattle, Washington, yay, that's local for us.
Both of those are technically pretty local.
Yeah, but one of them requires a passport, the other one doesn't.
Semantics, details, whatever.
Whatever. And they'll also be showing in Auckland and Wellington, New Zealand, so...
That's not so local.
Not quite so much. There's a little bit of water we'd have to cross. But we have one in Seattle, so...
Start paddling.
Yeah. In merchandise news, a bunch of goth-style brushable toys have shown up on Taobao, including Photo Finish.
We've seen that one before.
Pinky, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Fluttershy.
Most hilariously.
And Celestia.
See?
Yeah, in like fishnet leggings.
Princess of the Sun. In gothic-ish clothing.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm not quite sure what to think about them. And these are different than the Pinkie Pie's Boutique,
yes,
which is also a little goth style. But this is a different goth style. A little interesting. So we'll see if those show up in actual stores.
They probably will soon.
Yeah. Another news. Possible Build-A-Bear Trixie, Zecora, Applejack, and Apple Bloom. There's no confirmed source on this just yet, just an image someone posted, but looks legit.
Makes sense, because the other two CMC just released.
It would make a lot of sense. So, yeah, they released Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle, so it makes sense to have an Apple Bloom. And they look like Build-A-Bear, so yeah. Look forward to those.
Trixie's hat is tiny.
It's got a tiny little hat.
Haha, Sephisto.
An Equestria Girls doll for Adagio Dazzle has been revealed. Some people were thinking they were renaming Vinyl Scratch to Adagio
thing.
Dazzle.
That was squashed a long time ago, though.
Yeah, but it's not. I have no clue who Adagio Dazzle is. We don't know anything else, but she's apparently a lead singer.
Probably in Trixie's band.
It's what I'm assuming is lead singer for Trixie's band.
Her, Trixie, or both of them are the villains.
Yeah, I don't know. This one is rainbowified, though, so it's a bit interesting.
Yeah, they're rainbowifying everyone, though.
Yeah, I don't know. We shall see when that movie eventually
Watch,
comes out.
she's her Trixie. Trixie we know is going to be an antagonist from the shorts.
Yeah, she was fighting over a guitar in
Yeah.
Rainbow Shorts, so I think
So she's going to be one to be
player.
an antagonist by herself, but
There's
this
it's
is a
band,
possibility
so
she will be an antagonist as well.
and she's a lead singer.
Yes.
That's all we know.
That's all we know.
So yes,
Yes, Adagio is a music thing.
Adagio. Yes. 4DE, it's Fourth Dimension Entertainment for those who don't know, has teased an image of their Rarity plush.
How
on
fabulous.
Twitter. Yes. So that's all the main 6 except for Rainbow Dash.
And you can stop there. We're done.
No, they're just saving the best for last.
No.
Yes. But
Only if
anyway,
they re-release Twilight.
Rarity is announced, and she's apparently going to be available in stores this fall.
And online.
And online. Yes. Online and so, yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's actually rather soon. They've also mentioned, and I had been wondering this for quite a while now, the Fluttershy plushies that we've seen a long time ago should be available soon. They mentioned that on Twitter. They didn't say when soon is, but
soon.
Soon.
Keep your eyes open.
Yes. So, can't wait for those to show up. GM Barrow has announced the names of the 3 Daring Do books in her Daring Do adventure collection that she's writing.
I believe it's coming out in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, ways from now.
Yeah. But they are in order: Daring Do and the Marked Thief of Maripor. That's a funny one. Daring Do and the Eternal Flower. And Daring Do and the Forbidden City of Clouds. Yay. City in the Clouds.
Daring Do in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
No!
That's the 4th one. She has a daughter.
Interesting. Yes, and they're going to...
And she survives nuclear explosion.
In a refrigerator.
Yes.
Yes, because that actually works. Yeah. Okay. And in some other news, Hasbro will be holding a press conference with Tara Strong and Megan McCarthy about all the MLP stuff that's been going on.
And possibly a few upcoming things.
And that's going to be held May 6th at 5:30 p.m.
Which is
going to
be 2 days from now from our recording, so...
About... shortly after this is going to go up.
Yeah, this might already be happening by the time you hear this. So.
Yeah, if you're listening to this on Ponyville FM, then it will have started half an hour ago.
Which means you should just wait, keep listening to us and wait until the recording is up on YouTube, because it's going to be a YouTube live stream. So just wait until it's finished and then go watch it after you're done listening to us.
Yes.
Right.
We'll go with that one.
Go with that.
But if you're listening to us earlier than that because you downloaded us or whatever, then you've got some time. Yeah.
5:30 Pacific time.
Unless you're waiting till well after recording and release to listen
it's
to
a
us,
YouTube live stream, so it will be, once it's over, you can watch it later, unless they decide to delete it, which would be
someone's going to record it.
Well, it's on YouTube, so it's automatically...
I know, but even if they do, someone will have it recorded somewhere. But yeah, that's definitely going to be something to look forward to.
I don't know how long it's going to be either, but they said there if you do have time before, it might still be open at this point, but it might not be. They are asking for questions in their comments. The examiner.com is asking for questions. So if it still hasn't started yet by the time you hear this, go ahead and submit. You might get your question read. Or if it's too late, maybe someone else has asked the same question.
Yep. Moving right along. The Hub last week released their highlights for May, and included were some expanded synopsis for the finale. They're as follows.
We've already known most of this, but still.
Yeah, we already know some of this, but it's just a little bit of additional info. Part 1. When a villain escapes Tartarus, Princess Celestia chooses Discord to help track him down instead of Princess Twilight. Meanwhile, prompted to prove that she has an important role to play, Twilight turns her focus to opening the Tree of Harmony chest. In Part 2, synopsis, in order to protect their magic as well as the fate of Equestria, Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, and Princess Cadence transfer all their magical power to Twilight. Oh boy.
This is gonna be good.
We hope. Yes.
Believe.
And, in the last little bit of news, Hasbro and others have thrown up some clips of the season finale. One of them is a 45-second clip of the episode that doesn't actually have a huge amount of meat to it. Mm-hmm. There's a little newspaper-type clipping. Magazine,
clipping.
close enough. That, again, doesn't have a huge amount of meat to it. But the other one is a commercial.
Which has some spoilers in it.
Which has some, in my opinion, some
Blatant
pretty
spoilers.
big spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers...
Don't watch it. And don't listen to us for the
don't
next 5
listen to
minutes
us
or
for
so.
the next couple minutes. Skip ahead. So if you do want to hear them...
Here we go.
Well, here we go. It shows in the commercial direct clips in... Well, one of them opens right up showing the castle in the tree. We've seen this before.
The tree castle crystal thing.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Crystal tree castle.
We had been thinking that this was like some sort of transformation of the old castle.
Might still be the Tree of Harmony involved, though. Cause
it probably is, because, I mean, we know it's the Tree of Harmony.
there are seeds in the box, too.
Well, they just said it
Crystal
was a Tree of
seeds.
Harmony chest in the synopsis. So we know it involves a Tree of Harmony, but we thought this was, exactly, the castle in the Everfree Forest. But right in the opening of the commercial, it shows it's not. It shows it looks almost like it's in Ponyville.
Yeah. Also, the commercial also shows Twilight's house being destroyed.
Yes.
Which is the reason why she needs a new place to live, I think.
Yes, it looks almost, I'm going to say it isn't like, but it looks almost like the Tree of Harmony castle's in the same place.
Yeah.
I'd say it's kind of different because there's less buildings around the Tree of
Yeah,
Harmony
but
scene, but it does kind of
tends
change
to-
a little bit depending on what it needs to be. It's
Yeah.
an amorphous town. But yeah, those are like the two really big ones. But it also shows some like close-ups of the villain.
Yep.
So
Red face,
yeah,
black claws, gauntlets, or possibly old shackles or something.
possibly escape from Tartarus.
Tartarus, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would make sense those are like broken shackles or something.
It would make sense if they're broken shackles.
And some people are speculating that's Tyrek from G1. I think that's how you pronounce it, Tyrek. From
I
G1.
do not know. I do not have.
He was the if you know about G1, you know about Tyrek. And some people are speculating that. However, even though it does kind of seem to line up, I'm disinclined to believe it's Tyrek because the writers have in the past said that they have no inclination of taking things from previous pony generations, or borrowing ideas.
That's someone brand new. Yay.
Although then again, Flutter Pony showed up, but that was, I believe, only
Breezies?
a toy thing. Yeah, Breezies. That's what I meant, not Flutter Ponies. Yeah, see, but the Breezies showed up before, but I think before they were just toys. They never appeared in the cartoon or movies or whatever, because I think those were a G3 invention. The
Yeah, I don't
Breezy
know.
name. So
I don't have any experience with previous generations.
I only have marginal because I went and looked some of the stuff up. I believe they said they were not inclined to borrow elements from previous generations like that, just their villains or characters, just because they want to do their own thing. So I'm inclined to believe this is not Tyrek.
Yeah, if you
It might just be a startling coincidence, which has happened before.
Yeah, if you go and grab existing characters, even from previous generations of your own show, it kind of limits what you can do with them because you're stuck within the personalities that were already established.
Expectations.
Yeah.
So
it would make sense not to because it would be limiting.
no, not necessarily, because
It could
Transformers pulled off like, oh, this is the same
Yeah,
character's name, but they're
well.
completely different. They've done that multiple times now.
It's not exactly a good thing, though.
They've pulled it off, being able
Yeah.
to take the same name and attach it to a new character. They pulled it off successfully and unsuccessfully, so it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot. But we shall see.
Yeah, so I think that's the end of the spoilers. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the end of the spoilers.
Oh, spoiler talk for next.
Yeah, for the finale.
Got lots of spoilers now.
So yeah, that's our news.
See,
So-
we got through it fast.
Well, it was only 13 things. That's like half of what we had the last 2 weeks. So yeah. Next up, should we go into the episode or should we go into the comic?
We always do episode first.
Episode first? Alright. So yeah, we had another episode. This was Equestria Games. This is the last episode before the finale.
Ooh,
We've only got one more to go.
it's happening.
The end is nigh. Yes. So yeah, this is a Spike episode. This is the Equestria Games that we've been building up to since last season, actually. They've been alluding. So, basic plot. It starts out pretty much just a Pegasi on the train on the way to Crystal Empire, and Rainbow Dash gives her pep talk. But then it moves on. They all get to Crystal Empire and all get off the train, and bunch of guards show up and take Spike, much to his dismay. Ah! And then drop him face first in front of Twilight and Cadence, who apparently went ahead. Because, they're princesses, and they do that.
It makes sense for Twilight to be there well ahead of everyone else.
Yep, she probably has to be there for pre-event stuff.
Press conferences.
But Cadence, reveals to Spike that apparently he's a big shot there because of his events at the beginning of the season 3. Because he saved them, so he's a pretty big shot, and they think he's all cool. And Cadence wants him to light the torch, and he graciously accepts. The games are about to start, and he's about to light the torch, and he sees the crowd and clams up. Completely clams up. Harshwini is not pleased. He eventually goes up there and tries to light it, and he just can't light it. Can't light it at all. And Twilight, seeing the things are failing, secretly lights it for him.
Yeah.
Yes. And Spike thinks it was him.
Yeah.
It moves on. Spike thinks he can then light things on fire just with his mind, and goes a little bit weird with that. But then Twilight has to tell him, no, that was her, and then Spike gets all mopey, and he starts trying to find ways to make up for it. It goes to Harshwini, and he ends up deciding that he has to sing. During these events, the relay. So then when they have the podium for the relay winners, apparently they're supposed to sing the anthem of the winner. Spike thinks it's just the anthem for Ponyville and goes, I'm going to sing it, then realizes, oh, wait, it's supposed to be for Cloudsdale because Cloudsdale won, and totally messes up the song. Spike then goes off and mopes hardcore.
Yeah, mopes more. And
then goes to start packing things up because the games are almost over. CMC tries to come console him. He's not having any of it. They all go to watch the last bits of the games, which is an ice archery contest. Twilight's kind of freaking out because Spike isn't there, and Twilight goes to fetch him. Brings him to the games, and he's in a disguise. During the events of the archery, though, because they're firing arrows that freeze what they hit, which is a bit interesting, but
magic.
One of the archers trips over his quiver, knocks over and trips, launching his arrow into an overhead cloud, freezing the entire cloud into a giant block of sharp ice crystals, and it begins to fall. All the Pegasi in the crowd jump up and try and hold the thing up because the unicorns can't use magic because it was inhibited to prevent cheating. But they can't hold it up because it's too big. It's huge. Spike then jumps up and lights it on fire and melts it.
Yep.
That's basically it. And he realizes, oh, he's not completely useless. And happily ever after. Basically, Cadence then has him light the fireworks, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Now that I've talked way too much on that.
Yes, you did.
What did you think of the episode?
It was, again, another surprisingly good Spike episode, although the more I thought about it, the more I realized I barely actually remember anything about it.
Yeah, it's
weird because I liked it, but it's like, what happened? Because I think here's the thing. Because there is one moment that stands out so much that you can't help but remember that one thing and almost nothing else. And that is when he is trying to sing the Cloudsdale anthem and failing so spectacularly. It's so memorable. It's unbearable.
It's a
to watch.
It's
just so horrifying. Yeah. It's just a train wreck. It is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened in this show, and he just blew it so hard.
He did. It was. I almost couldn't make it through that myself.
I had to keep pausing the video because I had to collect myself because it was so bad.
It was just. Yeah. It's not bad episode. It was just holy crap. He screwed up.
So bad.
It's that third-party embarrassment thing.
That word the Germans have a word. I think the Germans have a word for it. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I just remember the Germans have a word for it.
Wow. But yeah, I thought it was okay. Not the best. I mean, it's still a Spike episode.
Yeah.
It's good for a Spike episode, but yeah, I had a hard time remembering a lot of the details.
Yeah, a lot of it just kind of blurs away, and you just remember Spike trying to sing.
Spike trying to sing, and then Spike finally lighting the thing on fire and melting it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the two big story points.
I mean, there's a lot of little gags and just weird stuff, just funny stuff will happening all throughout the episode, and it's kind of come back to me now. I'm starting to think about it, but man, that one moment just is so overshadowed everything that it's like we thought that one thing, Rainbow Dash season 1's the Cutie Mark Crusaders, the show they try to put on.
Oh, yeah.
We thought that was bad.
Yeah.
This is 1,000 times worse.
1,000 times worse.
And you're just like, oh my God, Spike.
God. You screwed up.
This is so bad.
Yeah. There's a couple things I want to point out on that one. Some things that don't really make sense to me. He got freaked out and clammed up just by doing something he knew he should be able to do, like fire. Seeing a whole bunch of people. And then suddenly he got the idea that he's going to sing in front of that same exact crowd.
He's trying to work himself up again because he feels he failed. So he's now feeling the drive to do something, anything.
But if he can't even do fire, if he clammed up around that much people, it's just like kind of inconsistent.
Not totally.
Not totally, but still.
I would actually not say it's inconsistent at all. I would say it's not inconsistent at all.
Well, it's consistent with Spike being not smart.
Yeah, he just thought he so now has just a feeling of he needs to make up for it, that it's overriding his fear until he realizes just what he just the situation to put himself in.
Yeah, you don't.
Then the fear comes back.
You don't do that. Especially like a big event like that, those things are planned. You don't just randomly run out there, I'm going to do this. No.
Oh, he did it.
No.
He did it anyway.
The only reason he even got away with running out there is because they all adore him. Anyone would have stopped him if he wasn't him.
Yep.
But yeah, some other nice little points right in the beginning, and I'm going to point this one out just because it's me. Rainbow Dash's pep talk right at the beginning of the episode. Yeah. But it was actually not. It was out of the norm for Rainbow Dash and her arrogance.
Because she stole something from Scootaloo. She stole a line from Scootaloo and just built off that.
No, she
did in the second half.
Well, the ending, she built off of it. But in the beginning, she was still, everyone has a chance. She was just actually giving a good pep talk for once.
And then she starts talking about, oh yeah, we don't have a chance though.
Yeah, she actually, it's like, we probably don't. But it wasn't. That's actually out of norm.
That was a really good part. Honestly, that part.
It wasn't the best,
great,
but
still, I remember seeing the tweet about it that the Hub Network put out about Rainbow Dash quoted as saying it doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter if we win.
We still have a chance to be awesome, and that was Scootaloo's line.
Yeah, I know that's one, but they contributed to Rainbow Dash in the Twitter. I was like, that doesn't sound like Dash.
It does actually. Well, the awesome part does.
That's
just where Scootaloo got it.
So yeah, it turns out Scootaloo said it, and then Dash just, I'm taking that.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was really neat.
There was, what was it? Oh, when Spike thought he had mental powers, that was also kind of cringeworthy. I mean, it was just Spike being an idiot, basically, and that was pretty cringeworthy. You thought that was bad until later, but yeah, he's just sitting there trying to light up autograph on fire with his mind, and it's just not working until
it doesn't work.
Twilight, like, no, Spike,
you
can't do that. I lit the fire for you. And speaking of lighting the fire, there was the callback to season 3's, which one was it? Apple Family Reunion, I believe, where using Spike like a lighter, and
yep. He's trying to use himself
trying to do
as
that.
a lighter.
He's actually pulling the back of his head, trying to light, not lighting.
Yep, and just kind of sparks it. So there's a whole bunch of funny gags.
And harsh when he's there being professional.
Very professional.
Professionalism.
Professional means you have to walk around like... Yeah, okay. I'm not going there.
Well, apparently there's a lot of little cameos and references in the crowd.
Yes.
And of course, blatant Derpy.
Yeah, Derpy wearing
a
uniform.
Back.
Yeah.
Makes sense she's back.
Yep.
She was there at the other one.
That's where they brought her back.
Yeah, so makes sense she's back again.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a little references. Apparently people saw Gilda in the crowd.
Interesting.
Yeah, because there was a Griffin team.
Yes, there was.
When he left, the one that Spike's during Spike's song, they were just standing there, just stoic.
Nailed it.
Yeah, but the Griffins were just sitting there, just stoic on the podium.
Yep, and everyone else is just cringing.
Just cringing or horrified, whatever.
Oh God.
Super horrified.
Yeah.
What is this? But yeah, apparently Gilda's in the crowd. Someone saw, it looked like Bulk Bice's mom because it was bulk. It looked basically like bulk biceps and a wig.
Interesting.
I think that was there. Another thing was, I guess for Doctor Who fans, was Doctor Who's next to Rose Luck.
Wouldn't be the first time that one happened.
Yeah, it's not the first time. So I guess that was the thing. But yeah, there's just a couple little things sprinkled throughout the crowd. Apparently someone saw Gustav as well.
Gustav Legrand.
Yeah.
The
He
Baker
was apparently
Griffin.
in there, so.
Huh. So yeah, a bunch of little cameos in the background. It's something they can do when you have large crowd shots like this. So it's easy. It's
and
fun.
Lyra appeared.
Lyra
During
appeared.
the TSA scene.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. They don't have metal detectors, but you walk through a
Unicorns
magical field and it...
Unicorns are profiled and forced to walk through the special entrance so they can't cast magic.
Yep.
Did they make the princesses do that?
Yeah, I don't think they did.
I don't think they would, but I know Spike was all ready to spring into action until Spike just jumped up, and when the ice thing was coming down, Spike was all ready to...
Yeah.
She probably had a fire spell ready to go, and oh wait, there's Spike.
Or just move it.
Teleport it.
Yeah, because the Panic Side were just
trying
trying to move it away from the archers.
Move it,
get it down on the field away from the archers.
That's what they're trying to do.
But
it didn't work because it's too heavy.
Really, really heavy. It's just falling really slow for being so heavy. Actually, that makes sense. If it's still a cloud inside, it hasn't fully transformed yet. It has a lot of mass, but it's still buoyant.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That doesn't really make much sense. Shh. Magic.
Yes,
It's magic.
Pretty much magic.
That's all I have to say.
I also find Luna and Celestia both appear, but they don't talk at all. Not once.
Not once. They just nod and point.
Nod and also another thing was we saw the Saddle Arabians from season 5.
Yep, they showed
season
up.
3. Wow, season 5. Yeah. What? Oops! I just spilled the beans. Season 5, Saddle Arabia.
Yeah, no, they showed up. They showed up in season 3, and they had seats up just below the
Then there was
princesses,
Prince Blueblood was there, and a bunch of other dignitaries. But Blueblood was there. Apparently, he had a different cutie mark this time.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops.
Either retcon or just mistake.
Yeah. It happens.
And Crystal ponies all over the place as well.
Which makes sense. It is the Crystal Empire.
I like the green ones. Juggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and big old statue Spike. So yeah, Crystal ponies confirmed for bad taste.
Oh, you're mean.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. Yeah, apparently it doesn't take much to impress them.
Yeah, what was it? I did like it. The guards grabbed him. Just no mention. Didn't say anything. Just grabbed him. Then when they drop him, splat on his face. That was genuinely funny. Just flat on his face on the ground.
Yeah.
And there was also, Spike, when he saw the big crystal statue of himself, it was a weird thing he was trying to. It sounded like he was trying to sound British or something. Hello, gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was this weird
like
line.
that.
The way the line was delivered was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just kind of interesting. I think it was supposed to be a reference to something, but I don't think it came through totally clear. Oh well.
Oh well. I thought it was an okay episode. I'm not gonna actually put it up that high. It's about middle of the ground for me.
The last one was Inspiration Manifestation, probably better just because it was more memorable overall.
Yeah, which makes me a little bit sad because I was hoping for a little bit more out of Equestria Games.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were hoping for it, and it turned out to be a single Spike episode towards the end, and now I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed just because of that.
Yeah.
Just because, all this build up, we had a couple episodes building up to, and this is it.
Yep.
Equestria Games, one episode at the end, mostly about Spike.
I was hoping for a bit more. That's well I'll put it.
Yeah, I mean, then again, though, when you think about it, what are they going to do in an Equestria Games episode? Just show competitions? I mean, that's going to get boring kind of quick.
Maybe.
How long do we watch the Olympics? I think fake competitions, because it's like...
Yeah.
Apparently Ponyville won the most medals or something.
Yeah, they got silver on the relay, but they beat Cloudsdale in the overall medal count by 1 because of the ice incident, I believe.
I don't know. I just said overall by 1, so whatever they want.
At the ice incident, it was Ponyville was leading by 1.
Yeah.
But Cloudsdale had 2 archers, and they could
so they didn't place.
So neither of them placed.
Oh, yeah. I just remembered the flags. Some of the flags, someone saw it. There was a griffin flag.
Yes.
It was what was it, a talon with a lightning bolt?
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Lightning bolt. So that was kind of cool.
So that was interesting. And one thing I really liked seeing was Twilight. She was sitting there cheering for Ponyville, and then Celestia just looks at her and just,
Right.
You know,
You're
the rest of
supposed
the
to
princess
be
are being all
neutral.
stoked, and she's sitting there actually cheering.
You're a princess. You're supposed to be neutral.
I'm a princess. I can do what I want.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
I do what I want.
You're supposed to be reserved.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I don't think.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. So, pretty good. But I think Inspiration Manifestation, I think, was overall better. I think this one's going to be dealing overall in the fandom. It's going to be. I haven't really seen too much of the reactions, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people. It's going to be dealing with the disappointment about it's a Spike episode. It's the Equestria Games is a Spike episode. We barely saw any of the Equestria Games in the first place, and most of it was just kind of in relation to Spike. Except I think honestly, I think the only reason the relay race is even in there was because we had this episode all about it, so we need to put it in, or else people are going to be really mad.
Yeah. You have all this build-up about the relay and
Plus,
then not
just
show
a
it.
setup
Yeah,
for
people will be
the
bad.
song.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
So
I'd actually put it on par with Inspiration
I think
Manifestation.
Inspiration is a little bit better, though, just because I remember more of it clearly.
Maybe I'd still put it on par just because.
It's just, I think what
I'm
salvaged
not a huge
really
fan of Rarity.
Equestria Games was the awkward cringe song.
Yeah.
That was what salvaged. Well, I wouldn't say salvaged, but that's what really made it.
Memorable?
Well, yeah, that's what really like puts the episode. I think it's one of those things that by itself kind of makes some people forget about the whole Equestria Games. We're not actually seeing the Equestria Games part. It's just stuff happens off screen.
Yeah.
Although another thing we all remember, we saw the CMC being the flag carriers or whatever and actually doing their little act.
Yeah, they showed
Ponyville
a little
forever.
bit of it. They didn't show the full act, but they showed just a little bit. Just
The
enough.
Ponyville Forever jump through the banner.
Yep,
poke
and then
thing.
then the Ponyville team comes through the banner as well.
And then everything's done.
Yep.
So that's
So yeah,
the episode.
it was an okay episode. It was definitely watchable.
Next week though we're gonna probably talk for like 3 hours
Oh, boy.
about one
Oh,
episode.
yeah, next week we have the
finale.
finale, and that's a 2-part, all one right after another. So yeah,
It's gonna be amazing. Watch.
I'm waiting with bated breath. Except we have the next issue of the comic, and I will let Nemesis take that away.
Yeah. So yeah, issue 18 of the mainline series, which this is part 2 of the Reflections arc, which started. It's out, and yeah, of course, it's because of how things are going to have to work. We have to spoil the last issue, so if you didn't read that yet, shame on you. Go buy it.
Shame.
But yeah, basically, last issue, Celestia came back through the mirror, all beaten up and stuff, and not surprising. I mean, people are a little concerned.
Would be. I would assume so.
Also, there's a little joke about how, hey, why is this whole friendship between Celestia and Star Swirl such a secret? A little joke at the beginning about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out, there's this other world that Celestia was in. She got hurt over there, and she doesn't want Luna to go over there because, well, apparently it can cause even more
Problems.
Yeah, problems than it's already been started.
There's a paradox thing that goes on.
Yeah, but instead the main 6 and Spike go through the mirror instead to, fix it, because there's apparently no elements of harmony in that world. And Sombra's the good guy over there, so.
Yes, King Sombra's a good guy, and Celestia and
So, yeah, they go over there.
bad.
And
Which I'm pretty sure people could tell just by looking at the covers.
yeah, so we also get some more backstory about what Celestia did and why it's a little bit about why it's bad. And, why it's bad for her or Luna to go through the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
More, and so we start seeing this other world and just how different it is from the one we know, and how, hey, look, evil Celestia and Luna.
Yes.
So yeah, from there, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there is a bit of a thing at the end, which will probably surprise you, probably. Just know that, and it's pretty much setting up for issue 3 being what?
Yeah,
What's
issue
going
3 is
on?
definitely this. This one seems somewhat of a setup issue.
Yes, it's more of a setup because the first one was already setting up. This one's setting up even further. I'm willing to bet everything's going to include over the next 2 issues. So
Yep.
I want to see the next part.
I know.
It's going to be a month away. Yeah, once again, because who it is, it's Cook and Price. So any Price's art still amazing.
Yep.
Jokes still real snappy. Both in
Been
the
there,
art,
done that.
drawn jokes and text jokes. Yeah, text. Vocal text
Dialogue.
Yeah. Those are still both work really well. There's little things that there's a little bit that kind of shows what's to come as well. Not directly, but it's just little hints of what's going to come up next, which is going to be pretty interesting. I think it's really going to be pretty interesting. So,
Yeah.
And just there's this one awesome 2-page panel in the middle. It just is amazing, just because it kind of shows you how different this other world is.
It's almost a mirror image.
Yeah,
mirror.
Not really a mirror.
Not quite.
Se,
That's why I said almost. But it's like what is evil on those things that are evil from what we know end up being the good things in this one, and then vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Plus, his little mini story at the end.
Yeah. How Starswell got his hat.
Yeah, part 2.
Part 2.
Which there was another one in the last issue, but yeah, it's a really interesting arc, and like also just like an example of what the jokes I was talking about earlier, I guess, or not really a joke, but it's definitely funny. It's just Dash being very brash about, or not brash, but very direct about the whole
And Luna being
was evil at one point thing.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, she didn't. Been there, done that. What's the big deal? It's like, wow, and Luna's mad.
Ignoring what the rainbow main one said.
Yes. Rainbow-haired one, but
rainbow-haired.
And of course, Pinky's still not knowing words.
And then the running gag, Applejack, Rainbow about Pinky. Where did she get? I stopped asking.
And a mention of Sunset Shimmer. She's mentioned briefly when they're talking about the mirror. Like, what the heck? So, yeah, very, very good. And again, you're pretty much already kind of in if you bought the last issue, but definitely buy this one. And if you haven't bought the last issue, buy this one and the last one.
Yes, get them. It's suspenseful. Oh,
yes,
quite suspenseful. Good build up.
Real good. And I'm waiting for the next issue so much. It's going to be
another month, you say, for that one?
Month-ish. Somewhere around a month, yeah. It might be less than a month technically just because of how things work, but I doubt that.
Yeah. I'm still waiting
for it is. This one came out at the very, very end of April, so it's an April issue. So the May issue, I think this next one actually might come out mid-May. I'd have to double-check that, but yeah, the next issue comes out May 21st, according to what I've seen, which is towards the end of the month, so it's not quite a month-long wait, but still, it's a fairly significant one.
Yeah, a few weeks.
Definitely pick it up. Be as intensely into it and waiting as I am, and yeah.
Yeah, it's
a good one.
It's a good series. It's a good arc. Yeah. If that's all we have to talk about with the comic, then we can move on to fan content.
No.
And I will start this one off. I have got 3 songs for you. Songs, yes. We love music, don't we?
Yeah.
So, to start it out with, I have Into the Green by And I featuring Chi-Chi. Definitely enjoyed this one, and the 3 songs I have today are all going to be similar in their mellow style, but this is a melodic electronic type song. It's an original vocal based around Fluttershy is what the vocals are about. So great song. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I actually like this one a lot. I don't think I've ever listened to this person. I know who Chi-Chi is just because the vocalist.
Yeah, and he's been around for quite a while, but I don't think he's been quite as active lately.
No. Well, I don't think I've ever heard any of their songs, so yeah, this was actually a pretty interesting song. It was a Fluttershy thing, so yeah. It's actually very mellow, like you said, and I actually liked it a lot.
After that, I have a song. It's a remix, actually. This is Caden L. Wellborn's remix of Nicholas Dominique's Yay. featured Caden, I think it was the first one I featured. I featured one of him before, so it's nice to feature another one of his songs. This is, again, mellow and soothing, and pretty much just one word. It takes Fluttershy's yay and reworks it, but it's another nice, mellow, soothing. It's a bit long, up to like 7 minutes, something like that.
7.5 minutes, I think.
So it's not horribly long, but longer than usual. What did you think of it?
I really liked the beginning, and it started off really great, and I think somewhere around 2-3 minutes in, it kind of stumbled around a bit. It kind of the middle. There's some bits in the middle kind of feels a little, I can't really explain it, but yeah, it just kind of feels like it kind of got a little off from itself. It didn't feel like it matches up with the rest of the song, and then kind of goes back to how it was in the beginning, and it gets better again. So yeah, in the middle right there, it's a little. I think the middle kind of falls flat, but the rest of it is really good. So
around the 4 minutes long, it does pick up a bit.
I can't remember exactly the exact time of it.
There's a build up.
But there is a spot where it just kind of starts to stumble over itself. It feels to me like it stumbles over itself. So that part right there, and then it kind of gets back to on a track a couple like minute or so later. So maybe 2, but somewhere. Yeah, it's about somewhere in the middle. It stumbles and then gets back to being better.
All right. The last one I have is The Beginning by Undreamed Panic, or just Panic. I like this one. The mastering is a little bit weird. He's got the volume really low, so you might have to turn it up or amplify it in some way. But I liked it. It's got a bit of a prog house feel, and it uses what I believe is pitch bent samples of Pinky saying her pinky promise. But it's kind of a mellow, uplifting feel to it. What did you think?
It would have been good, except like you said, it's unusually quiet. Like he messed up when he made his mix or whatever. When he made his final version, he messed up and dropped the volume across the board, and because of that, it really hurts it. Because it's so quiet, you have to crank your volume up, and then of course when you do that, you just start things start to sound.
I didn't think it affected it
I think
much.
honestly, I just honestly think that because of how quiet it is, it really negatively affected the song itself.
Huh.
Because of how quiet it is, and I don't know why he made it so quiet. It's really odd. It sounds like it's supposed to be loud and thumping and stuff, and sounds like it's supposed to be loud, but because it's quiet, it kind of ruins it. It's like it's hard for me to enjoy it just because of how quiet it is.
All right. Hopefully, maybe they'll re-upload it.
I really hope he does, because it's really quiet to the point I don't think I'm going to have to do anything when I insert it into the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, there it is. And in fact, I'm worried I might have to pop it up a little bit.
You might have to.
It's that quiet. I'm not kidding.
But yeah. Otherwise, I thought it was
honestly, I think the first one is the best of the 3 because of that. And because the second one has that stumbling in the middle, it kind of drops a bit. And the third one is the worst. Not because of how... It's just because of, again, just the unusually quiet overall volume just negatively affects the song.
Yeah. Musicians, check your levels before you export.
Make sure it's not going crazy loud either, because no one likes that one. They try to listen to oh god, my ears are bleeding.
Don't crank your mastering, or you'll kill any sort of dynamic range, and everything will just sound bleh. Make sure it's loud enough to actually hear.
And if you do make it too quiet, everything just starts to muddy together.
Yeah. So check your levels before you export and while you record. But that's the music I have for today. And we'll move on to the last bit of fan content. We have a fan fiction.
From me.
From Nemesis.
No, I didn't write it.
No, he didn't write it, but he picked it.
Yeah, I picked it. And it's a bit of it's a little bit outside of what I normally do. I don't think I've ever done a crossover on this show, so In fact, I very rarely read crossover myself, but yeah, this one's a crossover, and it's called Apple Bloom Transform and Roll Out by Dusty the Royal Janitor. And if you can't tell by the title, it's a My Little Pony Transformers crossover, which has been done multiple times. Not surprisingly, Hasbro owned properties and whatnot, and if done officially. In fact, there's that Pinky and Optimus cover for the Pinkie Pie issue, and there's the upcoming Rainbow Dash Starscream cover. So yeah, it's been officially done, but it's one of those things where it's kind of difficult to do just because of the different feel of the two universes. And I think this is one of those fics that actually kind of pulls it off a little pretty well for the most part. Basically, the thing is, what it is basically Apple Bloom and the other two CMC, they go out exploring in, what was it, the Whitetail Woods? Yes, Whitetail Woods, and they find a cave, except this cave's metal.
Well, it's...
At first, they just find something, and, well, at first there's just this metal thing they don't, and then when Apple Bloom touches it, opens, and the other two are like, that's weird. But Apple Bloom's kind of acting strange, like something, she feels like she should know something about this or whatever, and she's getting this weird nagging feeling in the back of her head. And she eventually goes in there and she activates something and finds out she's not a pony per se. She's so she's an Autobot.
She's an itty bitty little transformer.
Yeah, she's basically, so she meets this, I guess, remnant of an Autobot that was in the ship. And he explains a little bit to her, and she finds out that who she is and
what she is.
Yeah, what she is, and a little bit about it. I mean, some of it's still jumbled just because of the sheer amount of information she was given.
Yep.
But, when she comes back, friends freak out because they just see this big thing that looks kind of like their friend, but not really, and they freak out and start attacking it. They want Apple.
Hit it with a stick again.
Yeah, but she eventually convinces them, and then from there, it's just she's going through, trying to sort herself out, and at the same time, there's because of this, they went in the ship and everything. They accidentally activated the distress signal from the ship, and Decepticons pick it up, particularly Shockwave and some cronies. So
yes,
nothing's happened yet, but it's obviously setting up for.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting as time goes on, and it's also they make it clear Big Mac knows something. At the very least.
Yeah, that part was a bit interesting.
Yeah, so it's not finished. Again, I've done this before, but I try not to do this. But it's not a finished fic, and it's probably not going to be finished for a long time. I'm just kind of taking a gamble here. One, being a crossover. Two, it's unfinished, so it's a real big gamble. But from what I'm reading, I'm intrigued enough to go ahead and tell you guys to check it out. I'm just curious though, what did you think of it? What you read?
For me, I've never been huge into Transformers, so
it's different for you.
It's a little bit different for me since you have a whole bunch of backstory and you understand Transformers and all that sort of stuff. For me, I really have no clue other than the very basics. I found it fairly well written actually, so far. But it's interesting. It's hard to describe, but I find it's fairly well interesting, and it's something I'm going to keep reading. So,
yeah, it's just like you said, he's not a Transformers fan. I am, so I understood it pretty easily. But even if you're not really into Transformers, you have vague knowledge of it. He does have a couple like TF Wiki links throughout, just so it's like if there's something like, oh, I don't know what that is. You can click it, read up on it. Okay, because he's kind of taken 3 different Transformers continuities and kind of mashed them together.
Yeah, which is a bit confusing to someone like me.
Yeah. So and there's also this is also an alternate universe because apparently it does not take into account season 3 or beyond. So
yeah, there's
that. Oh well, probably because he started writing it long before season 3 aired, I believe.
Yeah.
So. I definitely find it interesting myself. What else was that? Oh, there are a couple of mistakes. Like he makes Apple Bloom's name 1 word when it should be 2. That's one mistake. That's
something I see a lot.
Yeah, it's a very common mistake. Not surprising, but just like people like to try to separate Applejack's name to 2 words. But yeah, Apple Bloom is apparently 2 words. It's something that we were not totally sure of, but now I think officially Apple Bloom is 2 words. So I think he should. I think you
can fudge that one just because it's so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very interesting. So I would say go ahead and check it out. It's only got 4 chapters, and the chapters are somewhat long.
It's like 5,000 to 6,000 words a chapter.
Yeah, it's somewhat long, but it's not finished yet. But I'm definitely keeping a eye on it, and I think you guys should too.
Yeah, It's on my
See, you got the
list,
non-Transformers fan looking at it too.
Transformers fan, and it doesn't have Rainbow Dash in it either.
Yeah, anyway.
So, and I'm still reading it. Yeah, that's a good thing.
I haven't seen a peep about Twilight, so.
Yeah.
How's that?
I only saw one. They used Rainbow's name a couple times. Scootaloo has.
Yep. Scootaloo.
Well, Apple Bloom did too.
Yeah.
Referring to Cider, so.
Makes you wonder, are there any other ponies that are Transformers?
Big Mac?
I don't know. I don't think I think.
No, Big Mac knows something, but they haven't revealed yet.
Something. Applejack and Granny Smith, at least so far, it seems implied they don't. So I'm interested how they're going to I'm interested to see how they're going to handle it, because right now it's just kind of it ended the way it ended. The last chapter ended. It's like So yeah.
Yeah.
Go read it.
So yeah.
Good. It's not short like I've been doing. I've noticed I've been doing a lot of really short fics lately. So
yeah.
Here's a nice long one.
Yep. So I'll echo those. Go read it. Go keep an eye on it. I am. That's all we have on that. Then I guess we can wrap this up. If you liked what you heard, you can find all of our episodes on Libsyn. That's pony411.libsyn.com. You can find everything there. You can also find us on iTunes. Just search for Pony411. You can also find us on YouTube if you don't want to download anything or whatnot. That's youtube.com/pony411. You can also find us on Ponyville FM. We air every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, so listen in there. If you would like to contact us, you can get a hold of us at pony411podcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter. That's at pony411. We're also on Facebook. It's facebook.com/pony411. You can also contact us individually on Twitter. He's at Nemesis Prime 1, and I'm at Alca7raz. That's _Alca7raz_ and a 7 instead of a T. So yeah, let us know what you thought. Any comments or questions or whatnot. Anything really.
Also, if you want a cool forum to talk about ponies and other stuff on, ponycentral.com.
Yes, shameless self-plug.
Yeah, I'm going to do that again. Remember way back when? Yeah, ponycentral.com.
Yeah, we're both members.
I'm an admin.
I'm
He's
a
some
web
dev
so.
person who's irrelevant. But yeah.
If you want to find a place to meet with people and talk, we have that. So
talk about other things, like video games and stuff a lot too. So yeah, go check it out. Check it out. Sign up. Have fun.
Anyway, until next week, please pony responsibly.